Can you see the screen already?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so we are talking about right now local and global culture. Na? So for this moment, just give me a few seconds. I'll be using my second account kadit lang, ha? Para ma-monitor na ko. We will be using the chat box, no, for our interaction. Would like you to participate, no, and make your answer in the chat box. Drop your answer in the chat box later if I will be asking some questions. Just give me a few seconds first. Kaya dili na ko makita ang second akong screen sa chat box. Okay. So we have here two terms, local and global. We have several times here the word global and local, no? So the word local, what comes to our mind when you hear the word local? We have discussed the word global. This time we are going to focus on the word local. So please use the chat box. Can you give me another word that can be associated in the word local? Okay, I'm waiting your answer in the chat box. Drop your answer in the chat box. I'll be reading that one, no? So local, for example, you have here local food, local culture, local industries. Those are those things that been associated in the word local. For example, local entertainment, local movies, no? Or in our dialect, we are using this term when we don't like the product, no? When we say that product is local, no? That is sometimes being negative in the thought, no? When you hear the word local, pag sinabi natin, anong klaseng damit meron ka? Local made yan, no? So we are sometimes deteriorating, discriminating our own products because of the word local, no? So minsan, local, in our own dialect, we are also associating the word local to the word Bisaya, no? Bisaya. So sometimes the one who is creating discrimination and prejudice are the people also in the local, no? Local people, no? Because we tend to associate the word local to a negative na description, no? Kalokal ba ng imuhang gamit? Uy, no? So local meaning there are terms being here we have within the country. Okay, that's good. Within a particular area. No? Someone also telling us that local may be associated in the word native. No? Native. No? So meaning within. Someone also tell us regional, inhabitant, ethnicity. No? Okay, so this is a good definition of ethnicity. Then we have also provincial, regional, national level, or there is a word comes here, resident, no, of a certain place. So it can be associated of those words. So it is a good manifestation that the word local is being given a definition by yours, no? So from the word naman na global, it is international. We have discussed this in some of our discussion when talk about popular culture, no? So global and local culture. So this time we are trying to distinguish its differences and its relationship. No, earlier the presenter determined the differences and relation of local and global culture. Okay, to proceed. So let's start first with local culture. Here, local culture is set of behaviors. So we combine the word local and culture. We we define the word culture in the very first part in the very first meeting that we have because the subject is Philippine pop culture. We have the definition when they say culture, it is a set of behaviors, practices, no, folkways, and way of living in general. So let's combine local, and culture. So, according to its definition, it's a set of behaviors, beliefs, customs that exist in the country. So, there we have the word the country. So, this one, the word in a country. So, you are right when you say within the residence, within the nation, or within the country. So, these are set of practices. So, later, we will be trying to identify what are our local culture in our country. I hope that we can still identify those, no? So, unsa man ka, no? What are those? Ano kaya ang mga local culture na you can still identify? That would be later, no? I believe when we talk about global culture, you might identify a lot of because more trend ang global compared to the local. It's everything from how people eat, dress, to the way they work and communicate. Now, for entrepreneurs planning to do business in other countries, researching the local culture and adapting their business and management practices accordingly is essential. So if I am a foreign investor, I am a foreign investor of your country is Philippines, I will be searching first, I will be conducting a research about the local culture so that my business, my investment will grow. No, I will not put a business and investment to a certain country when I don't have a background of knowledge about your culture. For example, my business is all about tourism. No, I will put tourism business travel industries in your country because I believe that tourism is one of the best businesses that could be established in your country because your country is the country Philippines is very what to call this one good in when it comes to culture when it comes to tourism, no? So I'll do first conduct of research, no? Example, I will also put a business about food, no, restaurant in your country. Therefore, I need to what? I need to investigate. I need to conduct researches about the local delicacies, the local food that you are having, so that my business will grow. Okay, so local culture is essential for entrepreneurs. No, for example, I'll do a business in Latin America. So I am a Filipino. I don't know the background of people in Latin America, particularly if I go to Brazil. No, so I will study first their local culture so that my business will be successful. I will not put directly without knowing the background of a certain country. So that is why in your final performance task, if you still recall, local culture is important. No, I am asking you to make your own culture, your own country, and establish your own identity. No, because we all know that culture is an identity. So you are given the creativity of what local culture that you are having in your own country that you are going to make. That is in relation to uh, our final performance task. Okay, so local culture is everything that we create and share. So everything that we create within our country are considered to become a local culture. When we create a certain practice within our country, that becomes a local culture. And it will be shared from one person to another person, from one place to another place. And that will become part of our lives. So share as part of our lives in place where we live or where we work. So in our workplace, no, soon to become you will become a future teacher someday. You will have your own workplace. And that workplace that you will be having will also be creating a local culture, your own culture. Example here in SMCC, it is a private school. We have established our own culture. No, example, you all know what is all about the SMCC culture of excellence. So, example, we want our students to excel in all their endeavors. So that's our identity as a Michaelinian. That becomes a local culture. It doesn't mean that it's in within the country. It's also present in a certain workplace where you are working. No, example, in the Philippines, we have different cultures. But the place where you are working, you also establish your own local culture. You might be working in this institution, example, you're given 5 years to work here in SMCC someday. And after 5 years, you transfer to a public school. And we all know that the culture in a private school is different from the culture of the public school. Therefore, if you cannot adjust, what do you call on that? When you transfer, you are working for in the private school for 10 years, example, and here comes you decided to transfer to a public school. And the culture that you will be having in that public school is not the same that you have in the previous private school that you are working. Therefore, there is a difficulty to adjust. What do you call on that? What do you call on the
Culture shock.
difficulty? We have discussed that one. Anybody? What?
Culture shock. No?
Okay, that's culture shock. Culture shock. That's a good answer. No, you still remember our discussion about the elements of culture. So, therefore, we have our own local culture within your house, within your residence. Di may niingon kaganiha, there is someone is telling us that culture can a local may be associated to our own residence. Okay. So, within your own abode or home, sa inyong kagalingong balay, sa inyong sariling pamamahay, you built already your own local culture there. And for how many years that you're living with your father, your parents, your siblings, you have shared, no? You have shared the established culture in your residence. Here comes, you need to go to another place because you're going to have your studies in other province. For example, you're living in Agusan del Sur, and now you are having your studies here in Nasipit, Agusan del Norte, in SMCC. You will be put into one another place. No? For example, you will be sharing with different individuals inside that boarding house. No? So we expect that in the boarding house, there are different individuals coming from different places. They have also their own local culture, no? Because they have their own residence. And here comes you are put together as one. So you are building another local culture, and that will become your identity. So it is not only limited on the ethnicity in the indigenous people's culture. It's not only about the locality, but into a very specific place, like where we are living and where you are working. So local culture is everything that we create. You create, you share as part of your lives in the place where you live and where you are going to work. So example, you will be identified as a Michaelinian employee, no, Michaelinian teacher, because you have portrayed your culture, your practices as a Michaelinian teacher. That's your local culture. Here comes another teacher from other private or public school. Of course, we do not share the same local culture, but I think we also share ang mga same culture as a teacher because we have common na mga practices as a teacher, a professional teacher. Okay. To continue, may I ask somebody to read? Can we have Mark Sumagang, please? Please read the first bullet.
Sir,
Please read the first bullet, please. Can we have another one na lang? Go ahead, please.
yung sa una, sir.
Local culture,
Sige, continue.
local culture recognizes the expertise that people have in living their daily lives. People bring a wealth of knowledge to their activities, where to buy the freshest meats, how to machine a part within a thousand of an inch, when to move the infield closer to the plate for bunt, what types of patterns go well with each other, how to reach consensus on a cooperatives committee.
Just continue to the last bullet, please.
Local culture recognizes that people's daily knowledge comes from shared life, experiences, and information transmitted to them by family, friends, neighbors, and co-workers.
Okay, so as we go back on the first bullet, no, local culture recognizes the expertise of people have in living their daily lives. So in our daily lives, we may establish an identified local culture. Okay, so in the second bullet telling us that local culture recognizes the people's daily knowledge comes from the shared life. So in everyday activities that we are having, then when we share that one to our co-workers, to our neighbors, to our family, once it is being transmitted to them, it becomes a local culture. So local culture has connection to all aspects of the curriculum, no? So let's go back to this one, no? As mentioned earlier, no, the local culture can be associated to art, music, theater. You know, we have our local art, local music, local theater, local geography, history, sociology, economics, political science, and all subject areas, no? So when we are talking about here subject areas, learning areas in the academic field, no? Like reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So these are all part of what we call local culture. We create and share local culture as part of our lives in specific places, even in urban and rural area. The common factor is place. So the number one factor that affects in all aspects in the learning areas and that we are going to share from each other is the place where we are located. So each discipline, these are disciplines, the art, music, theater, media, technology, family, and consumer education are all disciplines that investigates place in different way. Example, there might be another local art here in Mindanao, specifically in Agusan del Norte. There will be also local art in Visayas, in Luzon. So that's what we call different discipline when it comes to locality. So the question is, where is local culture? Because we are talking about the place. So where can we find the local culture? The local culture is everywhere. Again, I repeat, local culture is everywhere. Where are you located right now? There will be local culture that you will be creating. You will be sharing. You will be transmitting. That's what we call local culture. That is why local culture is everywhere. Okay. So the persistence of local culture underlying these various visions of globalization is a reluctance to define exactly what is meant by term culture. During most of the 20th century, anthropologists defined culture as a shared of set beliefs, customs, and ideas that held by people together in recognizable self-identified groups. Okay, so let's just proceed on this. Let's proceed directly to globalization, global culture. Okay, so cultural globalization. So how come that there is a global culture? It is because on the phenomenon that we are calling cultural globalization. Phenomenon by which the experience of everyday life is influenced by diffusion of commodities and ideas. When you say diffusion, no, bulag, no, separate, reflects a standardization of cultural expression around the world. That is why sometimes we are confused of where is global and where is local culture. No? It is propelled by the efficiency or appeal of wireless communication. So there is cultural globalization because of technology. No? Mas pas, mas pinabilis ang transmission of global culture. Like example, the wireless communication that we are having right now, the electronic commerce, popular culture, international travel, globalization has been seen as trend toward homogeneity that will eventually make human experience everywhere essentially the same. So this appears, however, to be an overstatement of the phenomenon. Although homogenizing influences do indeed exist, they are far from creating anything akin to a single world culture. So how come that there is an emergence of global subculture. Some observers argue that rudimentary version of world culture is taking shape among certain individuals who share similar values, aspiration, lifestyle. The result is a collection of elite groups whose unifying ideas and transcend geographical limitation. So that is why here comes our next topic about the emergence of globalization. No? So this time there is what they call globalization of pop culture. So let me share another presentation. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what can we see on the screen right now? Anybody?
Fast food.
These are what? Fast food. On the left, specifically, I know that you can identify what is on the left. It is what? A product, the brand.
Ay, McDo, sir.
On the left of your screen.
Jollibee.
Okay. Is a Jollibee a local or a national, international product?
International.
Okay, so why do you think it is international product? Where in fact Jollibee is founded in the Philippines.
Daghan naman sila branch sa
Daghan na siya branches.
Again,
Red ang branch.
please
Dagan
click
sila
the raise
branch.
hand button, please. Please click the raise hand button so that you will be recognized. Do not answer in chorus. Sige daw. Again. Okay, go ahead. The one is clicking first. Let's have Jay.
Daghan naman sila branch, sir, sa laing nasod, sir.
Okay, so there are a lot of branches. Okay, from other countries. Who else? Ryan.
Same with sir. All or most of the countries its own.
Okay, thank you so much. So that's a correct answer, no? That's a good observation that this company, this corporation becomes an international or a global company because it's already present in several countries, no? Aside from the country of origin, Philippines. So when this product or this company already, when it started in the Philippines and does not have yet a branch in other country, it becomes a local product because there is no presence of that Jollibee or of that specific corporation, food company to another country. But right now in the present, these are called what we call the multinational corporation. So what do you think what do you think is the definition of the multinational corporation? So from the word itself, multinational, it only means that it is present from other country. On the right side, we have what product is this? This is McDonald's, as mentioned. So McDonald's is an international product. It is not founded in the Philippines, but it is present in the Philippines because this corporation is called a multinational corporation. And can we answer the question, why do we consume these foods? Anong ginakonsume nila to karon na food? Especially McDonald's. Why do we consume these foods? What do you think? Yes. Go ahead, please. The one is raising.
Ano siya, sir? Trend. Tas popular po.
Okay, so aside from its taste, no, it's a good. It's having a good taste, no. It's a trend, no. It is. I think it is a necessary action that we need to go to this place when we are hungry, no? It is a trend. Everybody have already tasted this kind of food. Okay, let's continue. Okay, what is in the picture?
Movies or
We have
Netflix.
Netflix.
Mobile
The Netflix is what is all about Netflix. This is an online streaming na platform, no? where we can what? We can watch sa
Watch
may
Watch
tawag diri,
different movie, Hollywood.
different
International movies.
international movies.
movies.
How about on the right side on the screen?
Games, sir.
International movie.
Okay, mobile games, no? This is Mobile Legend or mobile games. So, what is the connection of the two? These are all what?
Global,
Global what? Yes, go ahead.
Global
Risha
culture.
May.
Global
culture.
entertainment, sir.
Okay, it could be a global entertainment, no? Global entertainment because we are being entertained when we play Mobile Legends, no? This is being present throughout the countries in the world, no? This is not only founded in a certain country. This is not only being used in a certain country, but the entire countries in the world are also experiencing the same experience that we are also experiencing. So this is what we call global entertainment, no? When you play Mobile Legends, no? For example, you may be playing with other individuals in other countries. Is it right? Kaya di mo gyud ko magdulaan eh. Pwede ba ka makadula? Pwede ba can you play with other individuals in other countries when you play Mobile Legend?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so that is a determinant that it is an international or global entertainment, no? So you can play, you can connect, no? This is all about new media. No, you still recall the discussion about the digital age, no? The popular culture in the digital age. Okay. How about in Netflix, no? Especially right now, nga naman, right now we are experiencing the entertainment value of the Korean na mga K-dramas, no? And other na mga Western entertainment. So that's the picture all about, tells us about the global entertainment. So the question is, why do we subscribe to this? Anybody? You may now raise your hand, click the raise hand button. The big question right now is, why do we subscribe to this kind of entertainment? Yes, go ahead. Risha May. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Maybe, sir, we subscribe to this for us to entertain ourselves, sir.
Okay, to entertain ourselves. What else? Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Let's have another one. Yes, Vivi.
Because trend niya, sir, in the post ang kanang quality sa movie sa Netflix kay kanang nice.
Okay, so because of the quality of movie, no? How about the local DI? Can you compare the local entertainment that we are having compared to the international like the Netflix? What's within the entertainment of the local na entertainment compared to the international entertainment, specifically in Netflix? Kung sa man quality nga naa, ano kayang quality meron? What are your observation? I think we have observed, no?
Cinematography, sir.
Okay, one would be the cinematography, no? So let's us just hope that our local movie industries may also improve because we are being challenged by this international na mga online streaming platform, no? You don't need to go to cinema anymore. You don't need to go to theater or cinema anymore because Netflix can offer you, I think, almost the same the quality, no, using only your flat screen TV or your lead or smart TV, no. Right now, you just one click away, you can watch Netflix, no, as long as you have your subscription to this kind of application. Okay. Let's do have this one. Mas na sila budget use of latest high quality. Of course, no, it might be on the budget of the production of the movie, you know. Okay, correct, no? I think all of us are having the Netflix account, no? Most of us are having the Netflix account, especially although there is already a news that there will be an advertisement, no, of Netflix, but we are hoping that we can still enjoy the same value and level of entertainment, no? And of course, we need also to support our local going back, our local film industries, no? Especially during December, there is what we call the Metro Manila Film Fest, no? So there is already a statement released by one of our Philippine senator, I think Senator Jingo Estrada, that he told us that i-ban na lang daw ang Netflix or control the Netflix so that we can support our local movie industries. What can you say about that statement? Are you in favor that we need to control the Netflix access, no? Or the Korean dramas, and rather than watching that Korean dramas, let's just support the local film industries, according to to our senator Jingo Estrada. He released that statement, but he was being bashed by a lot of people because of that statement, no? So what do you think is your comment on that? Do we need to really limit the Netflix or do something else with the quality of the Filipino movies? Anybody? So I think in my case, I think we need to improve the quality of the movie industry of the Philippines, no? Sige, let's have the one who's raising your hand. Go ahead, please. Yes, go ahead.
Or need
Ah.
improve ang quality ng ang movies, sir, since kuan bitaw, sir, trailer pa lang na
Trailer pa lang.
sa ending.
Correct, no?
Ay mo
Okay, I think there's a problem with the connection. Can we have another one? The one who's raising the hand.
Sige sir, ako sir.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Ako po sir, gusto ay mas nga improve sa Filipino ang quality sa kanang ilang movie. Syempre mas prefer man jud sa tao ng kanang ma-offeran sila kanang good quality bitaw sir sa movie.
Okay, so that's a good observation, no? That we need, as in our local film industries, must also be challenged of what is the Netflix or the international movies can offer, no? It might be the problem is the budget, no? The budget, and the skills might be one of the problem that we are. I am not telling that the Filipino are not skillful in making movies, because I think we are, in history, we are the first country to establish a cinema. But napag-iwanan tayo, di ba? So I think we need to improve the quality of movies and even in the storyline, no? I think there are some comment of some moviegoers or people who are being entertained by the Filipino movie industries. They have some comments about the storyline of the movie. No, if you watch K-dramas, I think you are very fond of watching K-dramas. I hear that one from our friends, no, that they are telling that they are being engaged to the story. No, they can relate to the story. It's just a short film that they can get lessons out of it. No? So that is something I heard from Korean movies. So much for that. Let's proceed. What do you think? Do you see in the picture? What do you think the picture is all about? What do you think is the picture all about? Anybody?
Mga expensive na sir, mga gamit o kanang mga ano ni pagkaon.
Okay, on the right you can see, what's this?
Starbucks.
Gadgets.
Gadgets. Okay, thank you so much. So these are branded gadgets, specifically Apple, no? iPhones. No, these are international product. So we also experience using this one because this is also available in our locality. No, even in our country, there is already an Apple products that we are also enjoying. On the left side, we can observe there is what we call this one. This is a coffee, no? I think most of us are a coffee lover, no? Although ang ato 3-in-1 lang. But this one we can observe, this brand, this is what? What brand is this?
Starbucks.
You know that this is a Starbucks, although it's not present in our locality. It's not present here in Butuan City or even in Nasipit or even in Caraga region. There is no Starbucks coffee store here in Caraga region. But how come that you have identified that this is a Starbucks coffee? How come?
Popular man, sir.
Okay, because this is so popular in our social media, we can observe this one. Or you might be able to experience the coffee of Starbucks in other place. No, this is an international coffee product, but this might be present in some localities in our country. No, if you go to Cagayan de Oro, I think there's Starbucks, but here we are waiting in our region in Caraga, specifically in Butuan, that there would be Starbucks, no? Because this is part of the culture. This is what we call global culture, no? So why do we purchase these products? What do you think? Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. The main reasons, why we people buy this product is because of its quality, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Especially sa gadgets, sir, sa Apple. In terms sa Apple, there are a lot of innovations and new features which kita mga tao kandali rata murag in terms ka na mainggan user. And in terms sa Starbucks na coffee, sir, because of its uniqueness sa flavors ng coffee, which is kita po mga tao ganhan ta since most of us are coffee lovers. That's the reason, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul, for sharing this your thoughts about this product. I hear several times, no, when we showed the different pictures about this topic, the word is always about the quality, no. So when it is an international product, it is always associated with the quality. That is sad to say and sad to hear that as I told you earlier, that the word local is sometimes being used to identify the negative quality of the products in our locality. So ibig sabihin, nagagamit ang salitang lokal as a negative connotation of products that we produce. No, for example, earlier the local movie industry, you told us, some of your classmates telling us that the quality of movie of international is far different from the local movies that we are having, and that's true. The food that we are eating right now is not of the same quality of the international product, and that's another true statement. So something is being used as the word local, native, quote unquote, in our vernacular. Mintag, local man ang imuha. You do not buy Marikina shoes. That is a locally made product, no? Yan ay ginawa dito sa Pilipinas. We prefer international rubber shoes na mga product like sports shoes like Nike, Adidas, and many more to mention, no? So, because of the quality. But we don't know that the raw material of that products is coming from our own country. No, most of the raw materials are coming from the locality. But the one which being processed, the product is being processed outside the country and becomes more a quality product because of their what? What do you think? Nganong quality man ang ilahang pag-create sa product? While ang atong product, our own product is sometimes being degraded into a low quality. Why in other country, international product is being associated to the word good quality? Ngano man na? What do you think the reason why? Anybody? Of course, no. Number one is the technology that they are having. The processors, the product that is being processed, no. They have a lot of manufacturing industries. So that is why the raw materials here in our country is being bought by some international company for them to process that one and to make it finished product. In our country, wala masyadong manufacturing industries that will process the raw materials. Okay, so why do we purchase these products? Because of quality and the tawag nito, the fulfillment, no, of using the product or experiencing the product is high, no? The fulfillment is high, no, compared to when you buy other not famous na mga product with other brand. of course, you'll be confused. You might be curious of the product na mas mahalon. No? The quality is also equated to high price. Okay, so let's have now. So the topic we are going to discuss right now is all about the globalization of pop culture. Okay, so if we could try to go back to this presentation that we are having, these are all international product. The main reason why this product came to our country, that is because of the process of globalization. So let's talk about the globalization of pop culture. So our lesson objectives, number one, we will be explaining briefly the meaning of globalization. Second, analyze the scopes and ages of globalization. We will be discussing about what are the scopes and the ages of globalization, when did it started, what are the stages or the ages of globalization. And the third one, excuse me, is to appreciate the connection between globalization and pop culture, or the culture that we are having in our country. So how does globalization affects our popular culture or our local culture? Can we have someone to read? Let's have Rona Salarsa. Please read the first definition of globalization.
Yes, sir. Globalization, it is an ongoing process that involves interconnected changes in the economic, cultural, social, and political spheres of society.
Okay, thank you so much for reading that. So the word there, it is a process. It is a process that involves interconnectedness. So when you hear the word globalization, it's all about people, economy, culture, politics are interconnected. People in the different countries, in different parts of the world are interconnected. Now, if you try to look at the picture, what can you observe in the picture? Can you give me your thoughts on the picture of this slide? Can you analyze what is all about the picture? Yes, go ahead, please. The one is raising the hand.
Communication, sir.
Okay, there is a communication that is happening among other individuals in the world. What else? Another observation? We can see
Connection, sir.
again, once again.
Connection.
Okay, there is, through the communication, there are what we call connections among other individuals. What else? You can see, observe. There are a lot of part of the pictures that can be associated on the word globalization.
Migration, sir, I think.
Okay, it might be a migration. Where is a symbol that can be associated in the migration? What symbol that you can find in the picture that signifies migration? Yes, go ahead, please. Saan sa larawang ito na makikita natin na mayroong pandarayuhan o migration?
The airplane, sir.
Airplane. Okay, the travel, no, from one place to another place. That might be one of the problem, no, that may cause some of our professionals are going to another country. No, that's what we call the brain drain. No, our professionals are working in other country instead of working within our country. No, some of our talented and skillful people, like the professionals, like the nurse, the doctors, the teachers, engineers, and so on and so forth, are now giving their service to other country because, what do you think? What do you think is the reason why they are going to other countries instead of giving their service to the country? What do you think?
Salary.
The salary. Of course, they are seeking what? Because in our country, it offers not a good numbers, no, for our salary. That is why they are also bringing their family. That becomes a factor of globalization, that people are migrating to those countries which also looks for them to work and give their service to their country because it offers a greener pastures, no? So we can observe, no, a lot of OFWs or overseas Filipino workers are present elsewhere, everywhere in the world because of the golden opportunity that they could have in other country. And that is sad to note, no? So dito sila nakapag-aral, nakuha nila mga skills, but unfortunately, they were not able to give their service to their own land. Okay? So, what else? Can we see something about the picture that will be associated to the globalization? Yes, go ahead. Just try.
Technology,
Yes.
sir.
Invest, sir.
Technology, investment. So that's all about what? Economy. No? When we invest, no? When we establish investment businesses in other country, globalization, part of that is the part of economic growth is part of globalization. And technology is part of also of economic growth. What else? Can we observe another thing about the picture? There is what? Look at these two individuals using their pack bags. What do you think is this? This is all about what? Again, louder please. Again, I cannot hear it. Once again.
Travel, sir.
Travels. Okay. When you travel from one place to another place, you might be what? Getting social and cultural na mga practices that may help us, no, to establish and learn from their culture. No? After going to a certain place of traveling, when you go back to your country, you can share the knowledge, no? So there is what we call social spheres. And we also hear the word political spheres, no? Such as what? Sa may mga mga political spheres, like our country is part of what we call na mga tawag nito for a while. Did we stop? There. So example, our country is part of different international organizations. These are in political spheres, like we are part of United Nations, no? We are part of some regional organization like the Association of Southeast Asian Nation or the ASEAN, APEC Association, the Asia Pacific Economic Council. So that's part of globalization process, and that is part of the political spheres of our society. Okay, can we ask somebody to read? Eileen Husol, please read globalization on this slide, please. Go ahead, please. David Jane, go ahead, please.
Okay, sir. Globalization is a word used to describe the growing interdependence of the world's economies, cultures, and populations, brought about by cross-border trade in goods and services, technology, and flows of investment, people, and information.
Just continue on the last part.
Globalization propelled by advance in communication and transportation technology, the integration of global markets, and privatization and deregulation of media outlets in much of the world has uh, has intensified the role of media and popular culture in shaping our communication and understanding of cultures different from our own.
Okay, so globalization described as growing interdependence. The word there is interdependent. So all of the countries in the world are interdependent, no? As I said in my past discussion, no country can survive if they are not dependent also to another country. But there is an example to that, like the North Korea, no? They close their borders. They do not allow other country to go to their country. If they allow that one, there is a strict restriction when it comes to the visiting to their country. No, there is no investment, there is no other business aside from their government. So their country is under the communist rule. Therefore, people don't have the freedom. The people are being controlled. But outside that, outside that situation, there are a lot of countries, and all countries in the world, specifically Philippines, we are interdependent. No, we interact, we are interconnected, we do business and investments. We also ask investors to invest to our countries. So it described the growing interdependence of the world's economy. No, there is what we call the World Trade Organization, where the Philippines is also part of that. We can trade our product, our local product, to another country. As well, we can export our product. We can also import other products from other countries. No, we allow other countries to do business to our country. That is what we call globalization in economy. No, because of that, there is also a shared culture. No, from other country to another country, culture are being shared. No, people are also being shared. No, example, the OFW. Our Filipino people are working in other country. That's what we call shared people also. That is brought by a cross-border trades in goods. No, as I said, there is a trading between among other countries, like their goods and services, the services that we offer. No, we are number one supplier of skilled worker in the world, no, specifically in Middle East. No, a lot of skilled worker that we produce, and people there are working in other country. No, that's what we call flows of investment, people, and information. Globalization is also propelled by advance in communication. So as I said, because of communication, information are being scattered and shared to other countries. Transportation, and the main factor that causes globalization is technology. No? Ang pinakapangunahing dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng globalisasyon ang mundo dahil ito sa teknolohiya. There is an integration of different global markets. No, privatization, no, even so, like capitalism, no, the form of economy where private individuals may own their business. No, like our country, no, we are under the capitalism. No, we can do business. No, the government like taxes. So there is deregulation of media outlets in much of the world. So and has intensified the rule of media. No, the social media is one manifestation that there is globalization. No? Popular culture in shaping our communication and understanding of culture in different from our own. Let's have now the 5 scapes of globalization. I think we have discussed this one. No? It is introduced by anthropologist Arjun Aporde. He discussed the terms scapes or flows, like the ethnoscapes, the technoscapes, ideoscapes, financescapes, and the mediascapes. Okay, the scapes of globalization. Let's start with ethno. Ethno refers to people. Scape is flow or movement. No, it's the movement of people around the world. No, so what causes a fast movement of people around the world? Ano ang pinakadahilan kung bakit mabilis ang paglipat ng mga tao sa ibang bansa, sa ibang lugar? What do you think are the reason why there is a fast movement of people? Yes, go ahead, Sheila.
Sir?
What causes the fast movement of people in the world? Ano ang pinakadahilan kung bakit mabilis ang paglipat ng mga tao sa isang lugar sa iba pang lugar sa bundok?
I think, sir, because of, sir, work.
Work, okay. Thank you so much. What else? Ano ang pinakadahilan bakit mabilis ang paglipat-lipat ng mga tao sa isang lugar patungo sa iba pang lugar? Can we have another one? Yes, go ahead, please.
Ang answer ka ng kanang transportation, sir.
Okay, the means of transportation. And that follows the other reason, like you are going to work and you are also transferring or migrating to another country. Okay, so that make also people like the OFW, no, move to seek asylum. No, kana bitang there is a problem of security and war in your country, so they become refugee. No, example during the Vietnam and American War, we received Vietnamese people here in our country. Like the North and South Korean War, we also help people in Korea to stay in our country. Like the problem in the Middle East, like the Israeli and the Palestine, we also accept refugees in our country. So that's what we call a transfer of country, movement of people. So aside from the OFW, no, aside from working and permanently migrating to another country. So Upper Day notes that there do still appear to very stable communities, no? Like, have you observed in your locality, in your own residence, that there is a family already moved to another country, the entire family members? Do you observe the entire family members or even your relative? Do you have a relative is already permanently migrated to other country and become a citizen to other country and renounce their citizenship as a Filipino? May mga mayroon na ba kayong narinig na tuluyan nang iniwan ang bansang Pilipinas at tuluyan nang nanirahan sa ibang bansa?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What do you think are their reason? Although we could not get their main reason, but what do you think their reason of migrating and establishing their own community, their own family there in other countries?
Standard
Anybody?
sir.
Okay, go ahead, please. Sige. Ace. You're
Mas
trying to...
magaan ang pamumuhay nila doon, sir.
Okay, mas magaan ang pamumuhay. So we can observe that here in our country, our life here is sometimes miserable, no? Sometimes we have encountered a lot of economic problem, no? We cannot suffice the needs of our family. That is why napipilitan tayo, no, to go to other countries and seek for a greener pasture and of course to enjoy the quality of life that they offer. The government services is far different from the government services of other European countries, no? Or even in specifically, a lot of countries are looking for Filipino families to build their own family there, like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, no? These countries are looking for a migrant, a permanent migrant, and can offer permanent residency, no? And then we can find problems out of it. Like most of our professionals are going there. Sino na lang ang natira? No, sa kanta pa nga ni Glock 9, you know the song of Glock 9? Wala nang natira. Wala nang nakadungog na mo sa kanta ni Glock 9.
Yes,
Ay, katong upuan, sir.
Hello?
Wala nang natira ang title. Kung sa may inyong kuan na bitanaw na to sa YouTube Kaya para makuha na to ngay. Basin ka mo pod mahimo mo parihan niya ana, no? Ano bang ang sinabi doon sa kanta? No? That most of our professional are going to other countries, no? Working and giving their service to other people rather than giving their service to the Filipino people. Sige, na lang kayo nag-loading. So, di ba, maraga, napakaraming nurse dito sa amin. Ngunit bakit wala nang natira? Nag-a-abroad sila. Nakadungog na mo ang kanta?
Yes,
So,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
minsan nakayabag.
Kay Glock 9?
Meaning, Glock 9, no? So, that's what we call one way of describing the problem of the Philippines when it comes to migration. It's connected to globalization. And there is what we call the brain drain. Do you hear the word brain drain? Brain drain. Ibig sabihin nito ay paglilipat ng mga magagaling, matatalino at mga profesional na manggagawa sa ating bansa at lumipat na sa ibang bansa. No? Have you heard the word also diaspora? The biblical term man siya, diaspora. Or what we call the exodus. Oh, so biblical term ni siya, exodus and diaspora. Kung sa may meaning, ana? Kailan man mong Moises, no? Na gitapangan niya ang mga isa gitabangan ni Moises. Israelites from the Egyptian in slavery. So anong ginawa nila? There is what we call exodus or diaspora. They saved the Israelites, no? They traveled from Egypt back to their homeland in Israel. That's what we call a transfer of people, diaspora. So there is what we call a diaspora also of people from the Philippines going to other country. No? That's what we call exodus, no? Pag-transfer from one place to another place, diaspora. So sa ethnospace pa lang na discussion, a lot of things can be associated because it's all about the transfer. What do you think is the reason why people are transferring from one place to another place? Number one is all about the quality of life, the work, no? That the other country can offer, the services of their government. It's all free. Here in our country, no? Napakahirap talaga mabuhay dito. But because we love our country, no? Most of you out of 50 plus students right here, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you might be one of those diasporic people, no? Going to abroad and work to become a teacher, international teacher. A lot of teachers right now from public schools and even in private schools are resigning because of the offer in other countries to become an international teacher. But we cannot really blame those people. No, we cannot blame those people. They have sacrificed a lot. That is why people being identified as an OFW are called to become the new heroes of the Filipino. Because they have contributed also to our economy. When they send money, that's what we call global remittance. When they send dollars to their family, an income and a movement of finance-scape. Ama itong finance-scape. Akong escape ha, diretso na ako sa finance-scape kay it's connected. No? So represent the rapid movements of money across the border. So of course, we all know that our currency is now weakening. No? Humihina ang Filipino peso. May I request the one who is using the microphone to please switch off. Switch off first the microphone na naka-open. Okay, thank you. So, it represents the rapid movement of money across borders. As I said a while ago, when an OFW is working abroad, he or she may send a remittance, a money remittance, no? Or a money to his or her family. Aside from that, that's a very micro detail of finance-scape. But the example that we are having right now are the trades of capital. In a larger view, in a larger scope, it's all about trading. No? When we have export and import of product, the one that we are using is an international currency, dollar. So that is why when the peso becomes weaker and the dollar becomes stronger, of course, there is an effect to our prices of the products that we have in the Philippines, especially on the gasoline, on the oil petroleum product, because the oil products, the gasoline are being imported in other countries, and the money that we are using is not our Filipino money of the Philippine peso, but it's a dollar. That is why it costs a lot when it comes to its production. And when we buy that product in other country, and we buy also that one in our peso, the peso is weak. Therefore, the price of that product, this imported product, becomes higher because of the weaker peso. So like what we are using, the credit cards, the international credit cards, debit cards, the bank cards that we are using, most credit cards will work in most countries. No, if you have your debit card, your credit card like Visa, banknet, it is also functional in other country, but you will be charged of a higher charge, no, because you are using an international service. So that's what we call finance scape. Let's go back to the technoscape, no? From the word itself, technologies. As we go back to the presentation earlier in the picture about iPhones, no, other gadgets, no, other na mga computer products, no, it refers to the ways of technologies help us speed up cross-border movements. As I said, communication, information go faster because of the help of technology. And as I also said earlier, that the main factor of globalization, why this process happened, that is because of the aid and help of technology. Now, sometimes this is also referred to as technological globalization. No, it refers to the spread of technologies. No, before the brand of cell phones, mobile cellular phones before are limited only, but right now there are a lot of brands of mobile phones. No, before we only have Nokia. I don't know if nakabot pa ba mo if you have Alcatel. Nokia, Alcatel, Motorola. These are just the phones that we are using before. This is not smartphones. This is an ordinary cellular phones. No, na mayroon pang mga matataas na mga sungay, which is the signal, no? So, but because of the advent of technology, right now, there are a lot of handheld devices, like the movement of smartphones. Like, because Nokia did not go to improvement, no, did not risk for improvement, no, of course they were already out of the market. No, right now, no, we have different brands when it comes to smartphones, no, the movement of different smartphones around the world. Not only smartphones, cameras, personal computing device like the tab, the laptop, and many more. And of course, in the internet, no, it is also connected to technology. Technology has helped us to connect across globe at an unprecedented rate. Okay, let's proceed to the fourth one. We have the mediascape. We discussed about this one, about technology and social media in our previous discussion about popular culture in the digital age. We discussed new media, social media, and any platform of media. It refers to the scope of electronic and print media. So in the global culture, it refers to both to the distribution of electronic capabilities to produce, disseminate information. Before, we have the printed newspapers, magazines. Right now, we have electronic newspaper. There's no need for you to buy the printed newspaper before. Most of us don't like to read newspaper. But because the newspapers right now are digital, digital right now, the newspaper are no longer printed. So of course, we love to read what is in the gadget. So right now, students don't like to read printed books. No, they prefer to scroll up, scroll down using their digital devices. No, the magazine, the television, films, and other forms of media. As well to the images of the world created by these medias. Example, the blogging, no? Rather than getting information from the books, no? They don't go to anymore to the books. Instead, we go to social media, we go to internet, and connect ourselves with the website. No, we can get news from anywhere, anyone within an internet connection. Okay. The fifth one is the ideascape. Refers to the ideas of symbols and narratives that have spread around the globe. So this is all about the idea of the different philosophical thoughts and economic, political thoughts like the capitalism and socialism. It's related to economy and politics. No? In the 19th to 20th century, there is a conflict between capitalism and socialism. No? The Western people, specifically in America, they introduced capitalism, where our country also is using the capitalism economic system, while the Germany, like other countries like China, North Korea, they're using socialism slash communism. So much of the second half of the second quarter, much of the second half of the 20th century was consumed by competing ideas of capitalism and socialism. That is why the Cold War exists, no? Because of this two idea. No, when I say socialism, it's all about the people in the society. No, should be given equally. In the capitalism, those who have the capital, those who have the money to invest, there is an opportunity for a private individuals to own the business. In the socialism, the government control everything. No, so that's what we call age escape. So when did globalization exist? So there are ages of globalization. The three ages: the globalization 1.0, 2.0, and the globalization 3.0. So let's start with the globalization 1.0. Can we have somebody to read the slide? JCL, please. Hipolito, please read.
In Globalization 1.0, which began around 1492, the world went from size large to size medium because countries were globalizing. For example, Spain to America and Britain to India.
Okay, so this started when people in Europe, like Spain and Portugal, are competing to look for their resources. So this is part of what we call the attempt of colonizing other countries. No, in 1500s, in 1521, Philippines was colonized by the Spanish people. Therefore, the globalization happened because there is already a connection of Philippines and Spain. No, during that time also Mexico was also colonized by Spain. So merely the globalization 1.0 is the time where there is what we call kaning gitawag nato nga colonization, the spread of Christianity, the spread of culture of the Spanish and the Christianism. So that is all about globalization 1.0. For a while. Globalization 2.0, this era is introduced as to multinational companies. So dito nagsimula yung mga MNC, multinational corporation. It went from size medium to size small because companies were going global. And the globalization 3.0, no, in which the world went from being small to tiny, no, there is a statement of Marshall McLuhan that we are living in a small village. No, it seems that we are living in a global village. People are interconnected because of the technology and the internet. Okay, so those are the ages of globalization. To sum up, the globalization happened before pagyod sa of one people from one country to another country. No, when in the Philippines, the globalization happened when other ancient people, when other neighboring countries reached the country and started to establish their community. That becomes a globalization because there is what we call interconnectedness. On the globalization 2.0, these are the starting point of the growth of multinational corporation because of there is much need of different resources, factories, manufacturing industries like the revolution, the industrial revolution. No, in the industrial revolution, a need of raw materials and lot of machines. So the inventions of machines, the inventions of different technologies started, and companies starting to grow. And the globalization 3.0, this is in the recent time, year 2000. Now, this is what we call the Industrial Revolution 4.0. No? In the present time, it's no longer called globalization, but it is industrialization 4.0, where a lot of things that happen when it comes to technology. So industrialization, meaning there is a lot of companies is growing, a lot of businesses, investments, machines, technologies. Right now, we are talking about the 9 characteristics of globalization. So the free trade, no? Globalization allows free trade, meaning to say other countries can make a business and trade to our country. Like the Philippines, no? We have partner countries like the United States, China, India. These are countries who also needs our product. So in globalization, it allows free trade. We can make business outside the country without government interference. So meaning to say, the government does not have what? Control over the what we call the restriction of trade. Okay? So free trade not allow grows the company or organization which is involved in free trade, but also increases cooperation between other countries. So it is related to liberalization. It is defined as the freedom for business, people, industrialists to incept or establish a business, commerce, trade. No, so even in our profession, you as a future teacher, there is what we call liberalization. The government cannot control us when we want to go in other country and to give our service as teacher. So that's the result. No, globalization results to liberalization of business people and allows them to start their business in different places. And of course, connectivity. No? Connectivity. One of the important characteristics of globalization is that it helps different countries to be connected. So what makes us connected? Of course, that is because of technology. Number 4, we have economic globalization. The increasing economic interdependence, no? Different economies of nations throughout the world as a result of globalization. There is an exchange of services and product because of investments, because of free trade, and even into the case of the professionals. No, the professional people, we have also exchange students. No, have you heard the word exchange students? No, we are also allowing foreign individuals to study here in our country. And we have also Filipino student who is also trying to study in other country. Have you observed in some big universities that they allow foreign students? Why do you think a lot of foreign individuals are going to study here in our country? Okay, can we have a volunteer? What do you think are the reasons of these foreign individuals, foreign students, trying to go to our country to study here? Bakit nagpupunta ang mga foreign students at nag-aaral dito sa Pilipinas? What do you think are the reason? What are the reason why foreign students are trying to study here in our country? Can we have a volunteer? Ano ang kailang pangunahing dahilan kung bakit maraming mga taga-ibang bansa ang nagnanais na mag-aral dito sa bansa? Particular in English language. No? Yes, go ahead please. Ace, go ahead.
Sir, pinakauna sa lahat, kalidad ng edukasyon. Pangalawa,
Okay.
mas mura ang pamumuhay dito sa ating bansa.
Okay.
Pangatlo, sir, is yung wikang English natin, sir, ay nasa standard
Okay.
at ating maintindihan.
Okay. Okay, that's part of economic globalization and connectivity. No? Number 1, the quality of education that we offer. No? As I go to other places, like I go to Davao, I can observe a lot of Indian people who is studying medicine here in our country. So ibig sabihin, maraming mga ibang bansa na nag-aaral ng medisina sa Pilipinas. Pangalawa, sinabi ni Ace, that is a good observation, the cheaper amount of tuition fee, no? Compared to other, when you go to Singapore, na much higher, much expensive ang ilang tuition fee. So, number 3, the language, the English language. Now, the Philippines is one of the good English communicator. Now, we can communicate well because of our accent. That is why if you observe a lot of teachers, no, although they are not an elementary teacher, they are employed or having their extra income as an international English language teacher, or what we call the second language, English as a second language, ESL. No, most of you, no, especially you are a BS in English, you have that great opportunity. No, a lot of our teachers right now, they are not only dependent on their main income as teacher, they are also doing what? The online teaching, no? Like English as a second language. They are teaching young individuals or even adult, no, young adult and even professional that wants to learn English. That is why a lot of individuals from other countries are trying to study here in our country because we can offer those the things that they wanted to have. That's what we call globalization. We are being connected, no, to other countries. But pag language, English language ang pinag-uusapan, napakahusay ng mga Pilipino. Kaya in other countries, especially in the Western English na mga countries, English-speaking countries, they prefer to have Filipino workers because of communication. No, we can communicate well in English. That's the international language. That is our advantage as a Filipino worker. If we are being employed in another country, we are being preferred because we are good when it comes to English communication. That is what one thing that we need to be proud of, and we need to improve because it is also deteriorating. The English language right now in our Filipino students right now, deteriorating. Bumababa ang level ng pagsasalita ng English. So that is why you are being challenged as an English, soon to be a single English teacher, no? Whatever is the field that you are going to have, your field of endeavor in the near future, you will be using the English language, no, as one of your skills. Can we have another one? Please read number 5 and number 6. Volunteer, please. Go ahead, please. Number 5. Amila, please read number 5. Then Sheila May, number 6.
Okay, sir. Cultural globalization, the transmissions of ideas, values, and meanings throughout the world, which is aimed to extend and intensify the present relations, is called cultural globalization.
Okay, thank you, Amila. Let's have another one. The one is being called earlier. Go ahead, please. Sheila.
Political globalization. It refers to the growth and prosperity of the political system worldwide in both complexities as well as in size.
Okay, thank you so much, both of you, for reading the slide. Okay, we have the cultural globalization. First, it's a transmission of set of ideas, values, no? From one country to another country, our culture, no? Our local culture might become a global culture. So, ibig sabihin, ang local culture natin, pag na-adapt ito ng ibang bansa, ay magiging global culture to. Halimbawa, the Korean culture. This is very prevalent, no? Very common and dominant culture right now in the global setting. The Korean culture that we are also practicing, our local culture in Korea. But how come that becomes this culture of the Korean becomes a global culture? That is because what? There is a transmission, no? With the aid, with the help of technology, entertainment, media, and any other platforms that help transmit that local culture of the Korean and becomes a global culture in the world. Ibig sabihin, yung mga wikang ginagamit, mga gawain, mga kasuotan ng mga Koreano ay anong nangyari? Ay unti-unting tinanggap ng mga Pilipino in our case and practice that one. The food that they are eating are also being consumed by Filipinos, and that is a local culture in their country. So that local culture becomes a global culture because of cultural globalization, the transmission of ideas. Example, when we were colonized by the Americans, no, in 1940s, we were also portraying Western American culture. No? Ginaya din natin ang kanilang kultura. Sa mga Espanyol, when we were colonized in 1500s, a lot of Spanish practices are also being practiced by the Filipinos. And that is a local culture of Spain. But it become a global culture because not only the Spaniards are portraying that culture. Lahat ng kanilang nasakop, lahat ng mga nasakop na bansa ng Espanya ay pinaktis din ang ganitong uri ng kultura. Kaya nagiging global culture. If you try to observe the Latin Americans, no, the Latin Americans, most of those countries are being colonized by Spain. They have practice Christian beliefs, and that is part of culture. In the Philippines, when we are colonized by the Spaniards, we also practice Christianity. Therefore, Christianity as a belief is being part of global culture. And that is what we call cultural transmission. No, na intensify, present, these present relations that we are having, the values are being called as cultural globalization. On the other hand, we have the political globalization. It refers to the growth and prosperity of the political system. No? Like other countries are helping other countries. When there is global issues, of course, example, when it comes to global health issues like the pandemic, all other countries are helping each other. That is part of political globalization. Exchange of ideas of different leaders, presidents, mga prime ministers, and monarch in other countries are also exchanging ideas, political beliefs. That's what they call political globalization. Number 7 is opportunity. No? Globalization is an opportunity for everyone to prosper. No? It can be developing country or a developed country, but globalization provides opportunities both equally. It involves to grow by presenting almost equal opportunities, no? Because of the technology. And of course, globalization is learning, no? Opens doors for abundant knowledge and experience from different countries. Like what we are having, no? What we are experiencing when we watch movies, no? We can also get information from that movie. When you go to other country, no? I hope that we can go to other country, good, no? After nato pila ka tuig siguro, we are hoping that we can go to other countries because when you go to other countries, that is an opportunity of learning. And the last one is the production advantage. One of the characteristics of globalization is to provide production advantage to the companies. No, like the mga workers, mga skilled workers, no? In other countries, they're looking for an industrious worker like the Filipino OFW, no? A lot of our people are being hired as a factory worker. No, we have experienced, we have observed a lot of Filipinos are working abroad, no? And sharing their skills to that other countries. The companies can set up their manufacturing plant where the availability of labor and land is relatively economical. So, anong ginagawa? For example, when it comes to automobile industry, yung mga sasakyan, halimbawa, ang kadalasan ng mga sasakyan ay nagmula sa Japan. Pero hindi lahat sa Japan lang matatagpuan ang mga companies na ito. May mga companies din dito sa Pilipinas, example, Toyota, dito na ina-assemble, no, ang mga raw materials ng sasakyan dahil mababa ang production rate na binabayad ng mga manggagawa. Kasi mababa ang binabayaran nila sa production cost. So, example, manto sila sa India, dito nila excuse me, this company from Toyota go to India, China, Philippines, and other South Asian countries because the cost of production is very minimal. Yung mga manggagawa napaka di mahal, no? Sa tuwang pang-term, barato lang kaayo ang pagbayad sa production cost. Kaya mga trabahante, smaller amount naman ang bayad. Kung dito na nila ipatrabaho sa ilang country, mahal ang bayad sa ilang labor. The labor cost may cost high in their country. That is why they open other na mga shops in other countries like Philippines, India, China. That is why makikita ka diya, made in China, symbol in made and assembled in the Philippines. No, ang Toyota example, ang Toyota wala may main dire showroom naman ihatag ay pakita, no? But naa sila yung mga other na mga shops sa other countries nga dito like sa China dito gina-assemble ang mga sakyanan, no? Actually dili ginagikan dito sa Toyota mga parts na pag-abot diri sa China gi-assemble na. Example ang Hyundai gikan man sa Korea sa China na i-assemble kay barato ang bayad sa cost of production. Yeah, pag ma-produce na, ibaligyan na din sa Philippines and other parts. So that's what we call production advantage. Okay, we have 5 more minutes and that is our assessment right now. Let's use the chat box. Okay, we are using the hashtag. No, I have 2 hashtags here that you need to explain to 3 to 5 sentences. Okay, so explain the following hashtag into 3 to 5 sentences, each hashtag in the chat box. Now, write your answer in the chat box. Then after that, 1 and number 2, no? So if you are done, you can leave the session, no? If you are done. So time check, it's 10:56. So you have 4 minutes. So if you are done, you can leave the meeting and do not forget to drop your answer on the chat box. Here are our hashtag. Is it clear? Klaro ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here is the hashtag number 1, industrialization, and number 2, cultural deterioration. You just give me your thoughts on the hashtag. What do you mean by industrialization? This should be your own understanding. There is no need for you to go to Google and search on it. Just give me your thoughts. And number 2 is cultural deterioration. Okay, so you have, you can extend, no, as long as you are done, you drop your answer in the chat box, and after that, you can leave the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and participating. For a while lang,